You guys, Eryn is in the house. Oh,
Hey,
excuse me. Hey, girl, you must be in Atlanta because you got them shades.
yeah, it's like 80 something here. So, and I just came back from a long walk, so I'm sitting on my porch.
80, well, you are in Texas.
Yes.
Look, I was talking to Monica the other day. She was saying it was chilly. So y'all been going back and forth?
That's Texas. Yes.
Dog, you came on. I was like, hello, celebrity.
Nah, baby, I am sweaty.
Looking cute, though.
Yes. I
was actually talking to my sister
day.
about you. I sent her your photo because she got her license to do sister locks and twists and stuff. And I was telling her if I ever did it, I wanted my hair to look like yours because it's so neat, but it still looks full, like natural.
Yeah, these aren't sister locks. These aren't sister locks.
Those are twists, right?
No, they're just interlocks. They're bigger. They're same technique as sister locks, but they're not the grid and they're not as small. So I don't have as many.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I should have done this a long time ago.
Hi, you guys. Thank you for joining us live tonight. We have Eryn in the house, Miss Eryn Shields, Miss Style So Me, Miss Get It Poppin', Miss Throw the Pattern to the left, to the right. Thank you for joining us, Eryn.
Thank you for having me, Faye.
You're welcome. Look, if anything, I love this platform because I get to talk to people I've looked up to for so long. Because I was introduced to you before I knew what Instagram was. I found you through YouTube when I was looking up circle skirts.
Yes.
And then yours popped up. I was like, who is this in this flowing skirt on the corner spinning? But you guys, tonight we're going to talk to Eryn. And as you all know, she's a pattern designer. She is the creator of Style So Me. And if you see my page, you know, I be killing that Madison cardigan, y'all. Like, I got 3 versions of it.
That plaid sent me straight on up to glory, honey.
Look, and I got a black and white one. I'm a dress one right now.
Oh, I can't wait.
But you guys, Eryn is going to come to us, and we're going to talk tonight about her business strategy, how she came to start in her sewing and her journey from there to where she is right now. So if you guys at the end, if you have any questions, you put it in. If I do have time to get to those questions for Eryn, I will ask those questions for you. All right, Eryn. So our first question, which is pretty much the same question I ask everyone when they first get on. When did you start sewing?
I started sewing when I was pregnant in how old is my child? What year is this? 20. At the fall of 2013. I did not take care of myself at all. I just ate cereal and boxed mac and cheese because I never got sick. I got sleepy. And so I slept my entire pregnancy. So I didn't take care of myself. And I was so big. I gained so much weight. I was in maternity clothes in my first trimester. And when I started to, because I gained like almost 80 pounds in my pregnancy. And anywho, I kept seeing this fly Latina flying across my Facebook. I think you know who I'm talking about. I was like, who is this? She fly as hell. And then when I finally clicked on the link, I saw that it was Mimi G, and and I figured out she made this. What? And so that's how I fell into sewing. And I said, well, let me just whip up something, just something simple, just to get me through the pregnancy, and then I'm gonna be done with this. But I never stopped.
Man, what a story! I mean, because I know I've said, like, coming back from Iraq, my sewing started after I had my kids, not trying to deal with my depression. And then also we got hit with bad times, and so it was a way for me to make clothes for my kids because we couldn't afford at the time to buy a lot of stuff. So I mean, it's amazing how we all have these stories that back us to why we start sewing. Now look at you now, though. Like building up your empire. That's an amazing journey.
Thank you.
So I mean, so that kind of answers my second question, which was what inspired you to start sewing. You said Mimi G.
Yeah, and then it went from there because I'm taller than the average. I'm 5'9", and so I really I'm too short for tall clothes and too tall for regular clothes. And so this new body that was curvier than what I was used to, and after I had my daughter, I was like, wait a minute, I can actually control how I look and just, you know, and that's where my kind of phrase, take control of your style, came from. Because I was like, I don't have to settle for this weird fitting clothes anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can make it to fit your style and your shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so and then, you know, like I said, I met you not met you, but you know, I was introduced to you through YouTube. So what made you decide, you know what, I'm going to start doing tutorials?
So I know a lot of people, I'm going to preface before I tell you this super basic reason. I'm going to preface this by saying that I get that question a lot. And I think so many people are looking for this magic plan. I had no plan. I simply solved a problem. And I wanted to make a pleated skirt. This is a simple answer. I wanted to make a pleated skirt. As my daughter. I wanted to make a pleated skirt. I looked on Pinterest. I couldn't figure it out. Like, I saw so many different illustrations. I was like, I don't get it. You know, I didn't get all the math. And so I said, well, let me buy a pattern. But I got the wrong size, and I didn't understand how to adjust the pleats to fit me. And so I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to figure out something. And I figured it out, and I recorded it. I didn't think anybody would care about it, and that's one of my most viewed videos. It's that pleated skirt video. Yep.
But you look like you knew what you was talking about.
That was trial and error. All of my tutorials are me being willing to try something, mess it up several times until I figure it out.
Oh, wow. I mean, if you listen to you speak in the tour, you really sound like, okay, you've done this a few times, and this is how you did, and this is what worked.
Well, yeah, I don't just, when I pop on a video, I have practiced it multiple times by the time I tell you something. Yep. So, but no, I don't have years of experience. You know, I'm less than 10 years of sewing. It's people that can sew circles around me, but I think my gift is I know how to teach. Yeah. I know how to make it plain without confusing people. So,
well, how do you decide, like, your content? Because I know sometimes we may be good at doing something, but that may not be what we need to be putting on our YouTube channel. How do you decide, you know, the type of content you want to show? Because I've seen your channel, I've watched your channel, and you don't just talk about the sewing the skirt or the dress. You give tips, and then you also talk about, you know, how to go into, you know, the business and all of that stuff. So how do you decide on what content you want to share?
My viewers drove my content. Usually when I try to experiment with something, just because I'm like, oh, you know, this sounds cute, let me go try this. And people be like, no, I don't care about that. And so, but it's the ones where I'm paying attention to, where I'm getting question after question about the same thing. And that's what drives my content.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I see some people and they make it seem so, like, so much. You're like, oh, I go and I research, and then I plan a month in advance, and then
I ain't got time for that. No. I'm a very spontaneous person. Like, you know, even with my sewing plans, I will go and make a list of patterns. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it with this fabric. I go order the fabric, I get it in. I'm like, nope, I ain't doing that. None of that. I'm changing it all up. So, nah, that's that Gemini girl. I'll switch it up real quick on you.
Real quick. Girl, my sister's a Gemini. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like, but you said this yesterday. She'd be like, that was yesterday.
Right. This is a new day.
Right.
I go with the flow, you
know? So, you know, you transition then from YouTube to teaching tutorials. And what I've really loved, I loved your style. I liked your style was something I could wear every day.
Yes.
And oftentimes I was like, girl, she need to do a pattern line, because I love the skirts you made. And then you did a high-low skirt that I really loved. And so what made you decide, you know what, I'm going to take this to pattern?
Oh, child. So I didn't start out with the intentions of being a pattern designer. I actually had a clothing line where I sewed clothing for people. And then that came and went very quickly. That business failed almost before it really got started. But I had these designs.
Yeah.
And because I mean, that was my first business. I didn't know what I didn't know, and it was a mess. And
Yeah.
but I got introduced to the potential that I could be more,
Yeah.
and so and I got introduced to a lot more people.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because the people that turned up in I say in real life, in my physical local life, the people that turned up and support me were people that I was never like super close with. And they were like working my vendor booths, helping me on photo shoots,
Yeah.
like, I mean, being models for me. And I'm like, wow, there are people out here who think that I can do something.
Yeah.
And that really was a push to not give up. And, that business failed. And I didn't go in my sewing room for a few months. I was really defeated by that.
Yeah.
And then people just kind of kept giving me very positive and gentle encouragement and, giving myself some grace to be like, what, you tried,
Yeah.
And then I still had a few designs, and like the Cameron dress and the Connie dress.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what am I going to do with this? I've already invested the money in the pattern, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so I just got the bright idea. I cannot tell you how the idea came to me, but it did. And I was like, well, I'll just put it up. I'll just make a PDF pattern and, just try to recoup some money from the investment and just keep it pushing. And then several patterns later, here we are.
I mean, honestly, I know I listened to, Lord, how am I forgetting his name, from Shark Tank, the one that did the food.
Damon John.
John. I listen to him a lot, and he says a lot of times your best ideas come from failures.
Yes, the power broke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's oftentimes we fail at something because I think failure gives you a trial and error, something to look back on and say, I see where I went wrong with this, but this is what I'm going to take it and do with it.
Yep. Now I know better.
Exactly.
Yep. Now I know better. Yep.
Exactly. So as a pattern designer, and I know there's quite a bit of people out there in the sewing community that have kind of said they want to dibble and dabble in the pattern industry. So I know they'd love this question. So what skills do you think pattern designers need before starting their own company?
So pattern designers, they're pattern makers and pattern designers. You do not have to be both.
Yeah.
To run a business, you need to be able to get the right people around you to bring the product to life.
Yeah.
I design. I don't make patterns. So for people who think they have to know all of these skills, you don't. The biggest skill that you need is discipline, because it's going to get hard, and time management.
Yeah.
And the ability to say, I can't do this, let me find somebody who can. That's key. Stop trying to do everything and be everything. You can't do it. It's just, especially if you are managing a family and or another job, or you have limited resources. Most people think, oh, I need to know how to have this particular skill with pattern design, and I have to know this much in pattern making. No, you need to know how to get the right people around you to make it happen. That's what you need to do.
Oh, wow. Oh, I was just talking about my sister. That she's genuine. She just Gemini. She just popped in.
Hey,
Simone,
twin.
that's another Gemini right there. The mind changers.
Don't come for us.
Look, I have a sister, so it gives me a little leeway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense because I know I don't design patterns. I've never thought about it, never wanted to do it because I know where my lane is and I stay there. But because I will buy your pattern, I will make it all day long. But I am not trying to join you on creating no pattern. But what I do think a lot of people struggle with is when they go into designing, they think designing and making. And you have to know where this line goes, where this goes, where that goes. So what I've seen from watching you and some people, you guys pretty much create design. The pattern makers make it, send it to you, and then you create it, and then you say, hey, I want to change this here, I want to change this there. Is that correct?
Yep, that's the same thing in the fashion industry.
Yeah.
There's no difference. The only difference is that instead of creating a finished garment, You're creating instructions and you're delivering the pattern sheet. Because even, you know, in the clothing industry, they create a pattern. It just doesn't have all of the markings and instructions with it.
Okay.
We take the same path and then we split at the end.
Okay. Look, I'm learning. I love talking to y'all because I be learning something every day. Like, if you think you know something, talk to somebody who knows better, and you will realize you know nothing. Okay, so besides pattern making, right? Pattern making skills. What do you think that someone with the desire to start their own company will need to know besides just the whole? Okay, you need to know how to do this pattern, how to create design. What else do you think they need to know to have a good business?
The biggest step people skip, and this is a step I skipped in my clothing line, and even I had to go back and figure that out in the pattern business. The biggest step is that people don't do research on their customers. They go straight for the product. They start spending money, developing products, hiring people, and you have no idea what audience you want to reach. You have no idea, you know, what style they have. You know, I've seen, because I go out there, me and my admin, we look at reviews. And I've seen, you know, the praise, I've seen the criticism, but I also look beyond that and I look at who's reviewing it. I'm looking at your demographic. I'm looking at your body shape, your height, your lifestyle. I have a lot of data on my customers. And it's like, I know where you guys fit. I don't make patterns for everybody. Everybody can buy them, but I don't make it for everybody. Yeah. And, you know, there's, for those of us who got, you know, some TNA, some little extra fluff here and there, you know, the regular patterns aren't made for us. Yeah. You know, they're made for slimmer shapes. And for those of us, we're fluffier, you know, we have a little more love to give. And, you know, we tend to get frustrated with fitting. And that's where I broke off and said, okay, boom, this is what we're going to do. Yeah, we're gonna step away from these short skirts and these fitted dresses like Connie and Cameron, and we're going to get these blazers that have more slimming silhouettes. We're gonna get these cardigans that have a little more flow, that's a little more distracting for the areas we may want to hide. Like that's where I got more intentional. So it's not about the pattern making. It's not about the pattern design. It's about knowing who you're going to sell to, because you can create products all day. If you ain't got nobody to sell it to, then you got a hobby that just costs you a lot of money.
I mean, you do, and it makes sense because I know the pattern companies I gravitate towards are the ones that make stuff that flatters my shape. Because I know, but my husband's like certain things I wear, like my loose pants. He said I look like I got a chicken booty. Like it's just like it ain't big, but it's just like.
Just wide, just there.
Just like, you know, look on the bottom. So like, you know, I like the loose stuff or I wear tight fitting pants. Like I love your cardigan because like I say, it came in here where I'm more voluminous, but out here where it's not a whole lot of something, it makes it look like it expands out a little bit. And so I gravitate patterns I don't have to make a lot of adjustments on. I can't. That's, you already got to cut it out all day. Cut the pattern, you got to go and adjust this and that. So I do give you kudos on that. I rarely have to make any adjustment aside from the length because I'm short on your pattern. So I do give you kudos, and I could tell you pay attention to that. So I appreciate that. Okay, so how much of pattern making is the design and how much is style?
They're separate processes.
Yeah, and fashion knowledge, I should say, style and fashion knowledge.
I'll say this. There are people who have dedicated their careers to studying fashion. I am not one of those people. Yeah. But I say that to say you can go both routes. It never hurts to specialize in your industry. Never hurts. Yeah. So if you want to get deep into fashion and cater to people who say are more into couture stuff, that is going to serve you. But for me, I'm looking at pieces that are more everyday wear. I don't necessarily need that knowledge, nor do I desire to have it.
Yeah.
My closet is very simple. It's full of blacks, whites, grays, and blush.
Yeah.
So like I've purged almost every print out of my closet.
No,
I can't do it. I can't. So I am neutrals all the way. But I say that to say a lot of people don't do neutrals. A lot of people like the flair and the production of fashion, and that ain't me, but I'm still making it. So I say that to not give people pressure.
Yeah.
Just start.
To feel like you have to know, what fashion this, what trend is this, and what's on and what's not.
Girl, people still get in my comments on YouTube, talk about I called the circle skirt the wrong thing. Girl, I don't care. I don't care. Like, this
what you call it wrong?
Skirt.
And what is it supposed to be called?
I don't know. That's how much I don't care.
But I've
I never looked it up.
Circle skirt. I've even watched Project Runway. They say circle skirt. So I don't know what else you call it.
But my point is, I don't care to know all of these technical vocabulary, and it has not stopped me.
Okay. Well, Michelle said she wants to know what's the most consuming part of the whole process.
Testing, pattern testing. By the time I test that pattern, I'm sick of it. Before you guys ever see it, I don't ever want to see that pattern ever again. That's why I struggle, because I have to record, sew-alongs, and if I want to do a pattern hack or something before I release it, because I know I'm not going to do it after I release it, because I don't want to see that pattern again. So testing is definitely the most time-consuming part.
I never would have thought that.
It's multiple rounds. It's multiple rounds of testing.
Oh, so by the time you're done, you see all of us tagging you and look at this. You're like, girl, I'm good.
I'm good.
Like 12 times. Hey, Brittany. Oh my gosh, that is too funny. I did not think you were going to say pattern. I thought you were going to probably say the designing process and trying.
That's fun. That's the fun part. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, and she actually asked that question: what the most difficult part of pattern making? So I do remember you starting your company, Launch, Grow, and Sell.
Yes.
Where you taught people how to take their hobbies and turn it into a business. How did you decide to start a business like that? What made you decide it was a business that was needed at the time?
So I had a particularly bad day. I don't even remember what it was for. But I came home and I just jotted down 10 points of lessons learned. Yeah. I turned on my camera and I said, it's on my spirit. Let me share it. Ain't anybody gonna care. I'll take it down in a few days if it doesn't resonate with anybody. Yeah. That video got me so many emails. Wow. So many emails and questions. And so that I started getting the same questions over and over again. And so I did a free, I think it was 5-day email course. It was a couple years ago. And then that got me more questions and more questions. So I made more videos based on the frequently asked questions. And then that eventually broke off to Launch, Grow, Sell. And that's how that was born. So same thing. I follow what the people want. I give them what they want. Well, so and if you can elaborate, what was that business all about? Just basically teaching people how to create a business? So it started out focusing specifically on makers, because there are lots of businesses out there, but I wanted to focus on people who are actually producing their own product, because we have a different set of challenges. So that's where it was born. And eventually people who were not sewers, they made other types of products, they started finding me. And that is when I decided to break the content off to another website, because I was like, well, if those people who aren't interested in sewing are finding me for business advice, I don't want to have them waiting around, because I got all this sewing stuff going around. So okay, that makes sense. Sense. And recently, I remember you did a post, and even on YouTube channel, you talked about closing the business. Yes. I was like, what? Yeah. Why? Why did you decide to close it? So I mentioned in the video, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And I have a love-hate with the business coaching world right now.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel like I was helping people. I had people in my programs. They were rocking it. Like, I have a few students who have gone on to launch and do big things, Hannah, Marisol, and it's Stephanie. These are ladies that keep in touch with me regularly and keep me updated. And that made me feel amazing to know that I helped them.
Yeah.
However, there was something still not quite sitting right with me.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't feel good in this space. And not only that, and I give this advice to people that I meet, like at speaking, parenthetical pause. I have a point. The most frequently asked questions I get when I go to speak somewhere is somebody coming up to me saying and showing me their feed and saying, hey, what do you think about my website? What do you think about my Instagram feed? And they're doing a million things. And I'm like, sis, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You got 5 different businesses on your feed. What are you doing? And so, and I'm like, I'm genuinely confused. What do you want to be known for? And so, and I would always say, every minute, and they'll always say, always, well, I'm doing all of this so that I can do this other business. And I'm like, so you running 15 million businesses so that you can learn to run the one that you really feel a calling for. Make that make sense to me. And so always, I can see shattered dreams when I'm talking to people. I see it in their eyes, and I'm like, I'm so sorry to be the one, but you asked, honey, I'm gonna tell you. So, and I'm like, and I always go to say, every minute that you are focusing on this other thing, you are stealing from the thing you really want to build. You don't have an infinite amount of time. You are stealing from yourself. Yeah. And I said, Eryn, you need to take your own advice. I never built Style So Me. Style So Me was supposed to be a 3-part thing. It was supposed to have a lifestyle component to it.
Yeah.
And because I created it when I was, a new mom and trying to get back to myself.
Yeah.
And I never built the me portion of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to follow your own advice. And I felt a disconnect with telling somebody else, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just because I can, don't mean I should. And then God said, well, hey, sis, since you won't leave, since I've been whispering in your ear that this ain't your lane you need to be in right now, I'm about to snatch your time. Amen. And that's what he did. And he snatched my time. And with 2019 was very challenging for me professionally. My company went through a reorg, and I've never been through one before. And anybody who's been through a reorg knows it's chaos. We got all kinds of new people that you have to work with. It's chaos. And there was a particular person that almost made me leave. Yeah. And I said, and I didn't feel right. And I printed out a note. I printed it out. I taped it next to my bed. It said, I will take care of you. That was my voice. That's what God was telling me. He said, don't be still. I will take care of you. Yeah. And a promotion came that I didn't know was coming. My time got snatched, and something had to go. And it was Launch Grow Sale had to go.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't Style So Me pattern, that's for sure.
Honey, I thought about it.
What, really?
Yes, ma'am. I thought about it. One thing that I do not subscribe to right now is this grind. Girl, who are you talking to?
Girl, look, my daughter's in the background. You heard me? You heard me?
Yes. I've done that too. You be like, shh, go. But yeah, so
the TV was loud. I'm like, look, if you ever watch the show, You never know what's gonna happen. Y'all heard me mothering in the background. I'm like, turn it off. Turn it off.
Girl, I know that. I know it. But yeah, girl, yeah, I thought about it. Styles on me almost got the axe too. Because one thing I don't subscribe to is the grind mode. I need my sleep.
I need my girl. I'm about to say same time as you.
I'm gonna be 40 next year, honey, and I need sleep.
Eryn, you gonna be 40 next year?
Yeah, I'll be 39 in May, so next year 40.
I'm gonna be 39 this year, but girl,
let me tell you something. My locks gonna be big, my waist gonna be small, and I ain't gonna act right when I turn 40. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. I'm not gonna act right.
Look.
Hey, Anita. See, I'm gonna get my body snatched like Miss Anita.
Miss Anita don't play. Girl, my husband was
Baby,
taking my pictures today.
I ain't gonna
and you know what he said to me when he's taking my photos today? For my blog, he said, now I remember this lady named Miss Anita Instagram you were talking about, and she be snatched on her stuff.
Honey.
And I was like, I am not been trying to pose like Miss Anita. I know my lane. Like, I'm just gonna stay because I ain't got all the hats too. Okay.
Okay, Alethea. With her flawless skin. But anyway, so anyway, but yeah, I almost shut everything down, honey.
Yeah.
Almost. Because in all seriousness, you know, I have a family, I have a corporate career that I love. I worked very hard to get there. And I did have a season of entertaining going full time with Styles on Me.
Yeah. And
it was I got blocked so many ways. It was the weirdest thing. I was like, what's going on? And you know, that was before the promotion. And when all of that stuff came together, I said, God, I realized why you told me to be still. Because patience, you know, if your sister anything like me, patience is not a virtue of mine.
Look, I'm not a Gemini, but I'm the same way. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
I'm extremely impatient. So that was a challenge for me. And to see all of these things, to see those trials be worth it, to fight with my ego about letting go of Launch Pro Sale and potentially Style So Me. Yeah. It was like, man, like, and the most transparent thing is I asked myself, I was like, gosh, I'm so scared to let go of this because who am I without it? And I mean, it's so when you see people going through transitions in their business, in their blogs, in their careers, know that it wasn't without trial, you know? Yeah. And when you're able to kind of let go of what will they think of me and move according to his voice, whomever, I don't want to offend anybody, but whatever voice guides you, and you're able to say, you know what, that's for them. What's for me will be for me, even if I don't know what that thing is yet. Yeah. So, girl, my phone keeps sliding. Anyway, I will talk to you all day, so you let me know when you're ready for me to shut up.
No, you look, girl, I'm like, got my bag filling up with the gems. I mean, you are speaking to my heart. I know. Yeah. I've talked to someone. I was like, you know, I remember a long time ago, someone, well, not long, but about 2 years ago, someone said to me, your page is all over the place. I said, well, that's my life. It's like, well, you need to decide if you're going to drape, if you're going to make a gown, if you're going to make pants. I would say I do it all, because one day I might want to wear a dress. One day I might want to wear some pants and a T-shirt. If my page is all over the place, then that's just where it's going to be. I'm not trying to be all uniform.
And I mean, amen to that. But I think in that season, and I'm glad you said that, because let me give a caveat to when I said, you know, I talk to people about what are you doing, you know, about all of these. And I'm talking about businesses and things that don't relate to each other at all, you know. So, but at the same time, you have to allow yourself the grace and the space to experiment. And there are going to be people that aren't going to stick with you because, you know, they're looking for a particular thing. Yeah. And, you know, you kind of got to roll with it. You know, hey, if you don't like it, baby, I could send you the link, the tutorial on how to unfollow me. It's cool. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel no, I'm saying now I don't feel no ways about it, but I get it because I used to feel a way about it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, and you're right. I mean, you're literally speaking to my heart, because I'm telling you, like I said, I'm not the type of person that go through things and feel like I need to tell everybody what I'm going through. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's stuff that's been said to me, like, girl, you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm like, this is not my business. This is not my paycheck. It's something I'm doing for fun.
Yes.
And if people are going to come to me and say, I like what you're doing, they're going to like what I'm doing because that's what I'm doing. Not because I'm doing it for the gram or I'm doing it to make other people like it. I don't make clothes for people. That's why I don't have a business making clothes. I make clothes for Faith, Anne Marie, St. Juliet. And that's it. And if they like it, and they're like, girl, I like them, follow you, great. If they don't, look, I'm be like, thank you, Jesus, for removing people out of my life that you did not want to see my excellence.
I mean, but that's a good point. You are keeping your sewing as a safe space for you. Yeah. You know, there's so much push to monetize your passion. And I was a part of that conversation. That was another reason why there was something disconnected with Launch Pro Sale. Because I wanted to help people who knew they wanted to do it for money. But then in coaching people, I realized that a lot of ladies feel forced into doing this. I did too. Yeah. And with the clothing line. And I said, there's outside influences. You know, we scrolling and we see them all the time. And the intention is to make you see that you can be and do more. But it's okay if you don't. Yeah. And like, I'm excelling offline. You know, one thing I will not sacrifice for no coin is my health and my relationship with my family. And so for that reason, I don't grow as fast as I could have. Yeah. You know, and there was a season where I was just like, damn, all these people getting these opportunities, all these collabs, girl, you got to step it up. And I'm like, shit, I'm tired.
I need a nap.
I need a nap, a whole nap. Like, I'm burning both ends of the candle. I'm trying to be a top performer at work. I'm trying to be a top performer wife, a top performer mom. I ain't got no time for myself. Like, baby, something got to go. Yeah. You know, so I think
it's not all about the money, and that's why I do like about your energy. When you do something, I feel like you do it wholeheartedly. And whether the money is good or not, if it's taken away from your life, you'll be like, I'm done. I'm putting it to the side. It's not that serious.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's a process, though. A lot of people can't. I mean, it's like a boyfriend or a relationship that you know. You know you need to leave that boy alone, sis. And you keep going back. You keep checking the text. You keep going back, and it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. You got to cut the cord at some point.
Oh, man. Like, you know, like, Lord, give me a sign I don't need to be with this man. Okay, not that sign. Another sign.
Right.
Like,
are you sure?
You sure? Maybe tomorrow you show me another sign. You know, and I do appreciate that because, and I've talked about this before, especially when Jessica was on my live, about the pressure of Instagram life. You know, it's like some people start off going into it for fun. But then they start seeing other people grow and do things. They're like, oh, I want to do that too. Yeah. And then they overwhelm themselves trying to be what the other person's being, not realizing that you can't because you're not them. They do it and it works for them, but you got to do what works for you. And if it's not, maybe it's just not your lane to be in. You know, like, and that's what I think, you know, the community talks about. Because I hear people say, I'm taking a break from Instagram. I'm taking a break from this. But if you like it, why you didn't announce you're taking a break? Just take a break.
I will get gone real quick. And y'all won't know. I had a couple people check on me. Are you good? I'm good. I ain't got to make no announcement. I don't need announcements.
You be back when you be back.
I'll be back when I'm back.
Look, I am not mad. And so, you know, you're a wife, a mom, because you're talking about this, and I want to elaborate because sometimes I see y'all do things, I'm like, child, how? You're a wife, you're a mom, YouTube blogger, you got your pattern company, you work in corporate, which is enough to flatten anybody out. I mean, how do you juggle it and balance it all?
There's no balance. Balance means that you're able to do everything equally well. No.
Yeah.
When I'm killing it at Style So Me, usually my weight is out of control. I'm eating like shit, and I'm not taking care of myself. I'm sorry, I cuss a lot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Look, 9 years in the military, I heard people make up their own cuss words.
It's
Look, I got uncles
like,
that have got a dictionary of cuss words they use. I'm good.
My goodness. So anyway, but my health usually suffers.
Yeah.
When I take breaks from Style So Me, everything else is in alignment.
Okay. So
I work with kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Of what's going on. So I work in small pockets of time. You know, Brittany J. Jones did a Sewing 30 that
when you say her name, I get stressed because I think about all the stuff Brittany be doing. And I'm like,
Brittany be turning some clothes out, honey. But yeah, she did a Sewing 30 thing where she talked about just kind of dedicating just 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we all got 30 minutes.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and so I had been doing that unintentionally forever. Like I don't sew in large pockets of time. I don't have that much time. Yeah. So that's why I'm not able to do as many patterns as frequently.
Yeah.
As you see most people doing, because I don't do this full time. I don't even do it part time. Yeah. But I edit YouTubes. So like I'll take my lunch break and I'll hook my laptop up to my Wi-Fi on my phone, and I'll sit in my car on my lunch break and I'll edit YouTube videos or, you know, something like that. So I just kind of take advantage of little pockets of time.
Okay. Look, I did the Brittany 30-minute, but the way my brain is wired, once I get started, it's like I can't.
It's hard to stop. Yeah.
It is, because like if I seem like, okay, I only got a button left, but I can't leave without doing the button. Let's just do the button and it just keeps going. Same. So it'll go from 30 minutes to like 3 hours, then 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Same.
But I mean, I do, and I love that you said there's no balance, because that means you do everything. I love that you said that, because a lot of times we think balance is great, but balance sometimes stress you out also, right? Because you're trying to like, I want to do this good, I want to do that good, I want to do that good. I just want to be a good wife and mom, and hope I'm a good Christian to the Lord, and that, you know, when it's time me at that gate, he ain't like, girl, you going down. Like,
like really? Like, did you really?
Like, I'll sew you a cardigan, Lord.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, thank you for your wisdom today, because you said a lot of things that spoke to my heart, and I'm sure it spoke to a lot of the listeners' hearts, because I think we all go through this process of thinking, okay, I want to do this and do that, and hearing you tell us, hey, you may want to, but that doesn't mean you need to.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. You guys, give Eryn and I say Eryn like a Jamaican, because I still don't get my vowels right because I'm Jamaican.
That's how
so if I say Eryn, say Eryn or Heron or.
No, it's Eryn.
I'll mess up some vowels, girl. But thank you, Eryn, for coming on tonight. I appreciate it so much. This is a wonderful conversation.